The Dutch architect Aldo van Eyck once asked Tonny, "How do you work? And how do you work together with people from such a different world?" It was hard to know how to answer that question. How do you work if what you value most of all are modesty, simplicity, and naturalness? How do you explain that you work on the negative form, the empty field, the female form of architecture? In this last episode, Tonny will take you through 5 projects in Oaxaca for which she served as a consultant. Each offered a specific possibility to achieve harmony, the essence of what she likes to call female architecture. Some of the indigenous communities in Oaxaca have inherited archaeological sites that have lost their significance and function. If they cannot be given a modern function, they become a burden to the inhabitants who want to live in the present. So it happened in Hierve-el-Agua and in San Jose Mogote. The site of Hierve-el-Agua, boiling waters, just past San Lorenzo Albarradas, is named after its mineral springs. 2,000 years ago, the Indian inhabitants used these springs to irrigate the terraces they had laid out on the mountain slopes. Over time, these irrigation channels were petrified by mineral sediments, forming huge immobile waterfalls in this barren landscape. Around 1975, 2 mineral springs were dammed up and 2 swimming pools created. Because of the calciferous deposit and the sun, the water turns green after a single day. Visitors started to come all the same, expecting to have a good swim. 10 years later, in 1985, it was decided to build some bungalows on a higher and wider plateau to accommodate those who wished to stay overnight. Then, the Mexican Archaeological Service forbade the use of the bungalows and declared the area an official archaeological site. How could unity and harmony be created here, Tonny asked herself. First of all, she designed a new swimming pool on the platform where the bungalows had been built. Next to the pool, the men of Hierve-el-Agua built an oblong reed roof under which kitchens for the women were set up. This new park proved to be such a success that 2 nearby villages are now disputing who gets to manage it. Then there is San Jose Mogote, a small village on the bank of the Atoyac River, with houses scattered over fertile arable land. Given the favorable conditions, it is not surprising that people here had time to construct major temples and public buildings. The first pyramid was built on the highest hill about 2,800 years ago. Over the years, huge blocks of stone were dragged up from across the river to make the pyramids more impressive. After the Spanish conquest in the 16th century, the lands of San Jose Mogote were ruled by a Spanish cacique, a landowner who succeeded the indigenous leader. At the foot of the main pyramid, a hacienda or estate was built, which until this very day is called La Hacienda del Cacique. In 1994, Oaxaca's tourist bureau, Sedatur, began a project to restore the hacienda to its former glory. The granary had been without a roof for years. It was at this stage that Tonny was asked to give her opinion on the work in progress. She thought it best that the granary be used as an exhibition hall. In order to create more light in the interior, Tonny asked to make the middle part of the roof transparent. Under this daylight, an inside garden was laid out in the center space of the granary. At the back of the granary, Tonny had a tapanco or extra floor constructed, under which local archaeological finds can be exhibited. A much-desired sports field was incorporated into the community project. The remaining funds were spent on a small garden in front of the granary. The newly roofed granary with modern lighting was inaugurated with an exhibition and a concert showing how this hall can be used. In 1994, Tonny was asked to think about an entrance gate to the city of Oaxaca. She discovered the silhouette of a group of pyramids on the ridge of Loma del Trapiche. She thought it would be a nice idea to incorporate this archaeological site into the design of a water park at the foot of the hill with a footbridge to cross the river. Water could be pumped up from the river with the help of solar energy. Tonny asked the European Union for financial help for this solar energy project in Oaxaca. It could become an important pilot project in this impoverished part of Mexico. Although Oaxaca is poor, there are few states with a richer biospheric diversity. Of the 9 sorts of vegetation to be found in Mexico, 7 are present in this area. In the cloudy Sierra Norte of Oaxaca, Indian communities guard and protect more than 15,000 hectares of the best preserved forests of Central and North America. An unpaved mountain road from Teotitlan del Valle leads to Benito Juarez high up in the Sierra Norte. In Benito Juarez, visitors can rent mountain bikes. Biking down from Sierra Norte, also called Sierra Juarez, it is wonderful to see how the forests change. The mistier it becomes, the more humid it gets. The economic success is tangible. A new shuttle service by bus takes the inhabitants from Benito Juarez to Oaxaca and back again. Another mountain road, the one that passes Guelatao, goes to Ixtlan. There is a beautiful church in Ixtlan dating back to the 16th century. Thomas Boone Hallberg, an American scientist, came to Ixtlan as a young man. He dug a lake on top of a mountain so that he would always be able to irrigate his grounds and began to grow apple trees. Later, Boone set up experimental projects with all kinds of Indian corn. Here, Boone, who is also a dedicated biology teacher, is showing the governor of Oaxaca how important the flora and fauna of this region are. On her visit to Ixtlan in 1997, Tonny was surprised to see the construction of a new town hall built by the local inhabitants. The 100-year-old town hall, the building a ruin, was still there on the best place overlooking the municipal park. She asked the authorities, why not put a natural history museum in this old building and use it as a visitor center? Puerto Escondido, or Hidden Port, a fishing village on the Pacific coast, got its name from the rocky Punta Escondida, which sheltered an intimate half-moon cove. Because of the best surfing breaks in North America, Puerto Escondido is home to a permanent surfing colony. In 1997, the Oaxaca governor, Diodoro Carrasco, asked Tonny to design a new market for Puerto Escondido. The existing market was housed in a building partly dug into a sloping construction site that was otherwise empty. Around 100 vendors were selling inside that market block, but 300 more had gathered on the dusty field outside. After some sketching, Tonny hit upon the easiest solution: an outdoor marketplace on 3 levels. She presented her idea to the members of the market committee, and the fact that the governor had offered to pay for the first stage made it an attractive plan for them. Alvaro Guzman, an architect with a good reputation in the area, was asked to supervise the construction of the terraces. He had the brilliant idea of taking earth needed for the terraces from a nearby barrio where the people wanted to get rid of earth to make streets. Tonny, however, cherished the idea of covering the 3 terraces to provide a cooler place. She got in touch with a factory in Mexico City which provides light roof structures. Together with the engineers of Trimetica, she designed a fitting structural plan for the roofing of the 3 terraces. The large roof plates had to be transported from as far as Monterrey, an industrial city in the very north of Mexico. The governor came on a visit to see the structures of the three naves. Designing partly covered open-air markets for the many street vendors is considered a new concept in Mexico. It has been forgotten that some 500 years ago, when Cortés and Bernal Diaz entered Mexico Tenochtitlan, they were surprised to find a beautiful open-air market in Tlatelolco. Tonny is sure that Aldo van Eyck, who as a young architect was commissioned to design a series of playgrounds in post-war Amsterdam, would have loved her answer to his question. Giving attention to the empty site, the female element in architecture, and making it a living part of the whole, has become Tonny's way of designing.